You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
In case you're wondering, these sports we follow are just nuts. Now, I don't know if you realize that or not, but I've got my Kelly Green Eagle Wings on today over top a Tennessee shirt. It's literally like, I don't know, 32 degrees outside, and the wind is blowing really hard. And it was 70 a week ago, and I'm not a person that does change a season real well, and I can get depressed in the winter anyway. And I'll tell you a depressing thought is Lane Kiffin taking that Florida job, which is what Throaty wrote about today. Lane Kiffin taking that Florida job is a really potentially depressing thought. Now, I was in here over the weekend after the basketball game, and that's not a depressing thought. Thinking about that basketball team and how they're going to grow as the year goes along, that is not a depressing thought. Alan reporting, Bino, from WeShipFloors.com, who, by the way, will be debuting a new commercial here tomorrow on the show. Those of you that are app inclined that might have been listening will know that we just did a little something. Little on-air love. And he's got a new sale coming up with the holiday here almost upon us. And that's good stuff. Got a Tony Basilio, got a Tony promo. But then for the first time ever, we have a promo involving a caller, because Alan has a great sense of humor. So Josh Brewer says, who cares about Lane Kiffin at Florida? We no longer play them every year. Bino, is it with all due respect, can we focus on the Florida game and not New Mexico State? Or would you like to focus on New Mexico State, where Amachi tailgate ticks at gmail.com? We still need some tickets. We're getting close to the finish line with them, our Amachi weekend. Bino, with all due respect, or would you like to give us a preview of the Aggies of New Mexico State?
I would not, Tony. When I actually wrote previews for you before you found someone real to do it, like Matt Dixon, I didn't even write one on these games. I just abstained. So, no, I don't care anything about focusing on the Aggies.
Like, in other words, what's the point?
It's November, and we're playing a team that can't play dead.
Sort of like if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, what's the point in turning that on tonight? Same kind of concept, isn't it? Sort of like if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar, what was the point in walking on to the field in the fourth quarter yesterday, Bri? Bri took a nice Sunday afternoon nap.
They didn't walk on the field. That's the problem.
Bri, what happened? Describe it to us.
They literally could have been. The Texans literally were playing against air.
How'd that happen, Bri? How'd you let a backup quarterback? Not that I want to pick at you here on a Monday. How do you let a backup quarterback come three scores?
Because that's what the Jags do. That's what they do. They don't beat backup quarterbacks.
You guys are about to get like a great home field a home game in the playoffs and the whole deal.
No.
Right? Yes,
No,
you were. Meanwhile, Bino's Colts, superior on several continents.
Colts, other end of the spectrum, Tony, had no business winning in one. They were terrible in the red zone. They turned the ball over again, had no business winning, and found a way to do it. So,
Tim Banks Space Academy today running on a 2-hour delay. We're not doing any school closings now, I'm sorry. But I will say that Danny White's next increase is currently on as normally scheduled. By the way, Danny White raised the scoreboard, Beanstar, over the weekend, I was told.
hey, one of his lieutenants was listening.
By a few folks. Pretty pump. Machi Brooke just texted me. She said, what's our tent number for this weekend? Bino, you think, how would you like me to be planning something? I'm scrolling through my emails right now as we speak. Bri, is it okay with you as a producer if today we don't focus on the Florida game, but instead focus on
Well, getting enough tickets to take the kids to the game, take all the kids that want to go to the game Saturday should be the focus instead of the too much on the team that they're going to be playing.
What about, guys, the Florida Gators season coming to an abrupt halt over the weekend? What about what the Throat wrote today over at tclub.team, Bino, which is, and he's right. Think about it. The pressure is now on Tennessee more than ever in those last two games. First of all, Vanderbilt pulling that game out over the weekend, and obviously we all had a chance to watch it. Obviously we were off. Obviously we were, depending on your perspective, either cheering for or against them. When I went off the air, they were down 17. We were laughing about how, and I say off the air, Saturday I did the Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. When I went off the air, they were down 17 and we thought they were going to Vanderbilt. Bino, I'm not sure what game's more pressure packed now. The chance to win at Florida in 20 years, or the chance, Bino, to not get defeated by Vanderbilt, who might lose between now and then to Kentucky, who have found a quarterback and are all of a sudden a little better, which is interesting how that happens. What do you guys think?
I think there should be a zero tolerance policy for the game in Gainesville now. You can go fearing that team all you want and fearing that series and the history and what's happened in Gainesville, but there should be a zero tolerance policy based on what I saw Saturday night.
Bino, should we have a position statement right now or not really?
Well, I mean, Tony, it's that is the view that most everyone is going to take on that game, because it does appear that Florida's totally quit. I've just never seen them quit against us. I've never seen them not be ready to play us. I've never seen them not care about playing us. So I'll believe it. I'll believe that that's the Florida team that I'm going to see Saturday night when I see them take the field.
They've never had these kind of circumstances when they faced Tennessee in the past. The game's always been early in the season. It's always been in September. Like I said in the summertime, getting these guys at the back end of the schedule is going to help Tennessee quite a bit.
Now, that's certainly been the history of it. Of course, most of that history was before even I was born, but that's still the history of it.
But really, guys, if you think about it, what's more appropriate? Florida has tortured Tennessee for 30 years now. Yes or no, Bino?
Yes.
So what would be the most appropriate way, now that we're jumping off this annual headache, what would be the most appropriate way?
The most appropriate way to
end this thing.
Well, it'd be to go down there and beat the hell out of them.
Really? Brian, what would be the most appropriate way for it to end? Since they've tortured us for 30 years.
I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to say it. But I know what you're thinking.
But you are right, Bino. You would think. Because here's the thing. I kind of went back and was looking inside the numbers. What happened to the Gators up there in Lexington? And look, we saw that team a few weeks ago. And I don't really know that they're very good. Speaking of the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, maybe you guys might disagree because they are now saying that when you look at the game that Mark Stoops is safe and this, that, and the other. Yeah, thanks, Brian. I needed some help there. I'm very distracted. I'm getting Brooke our tailgate location. 865-200 5402. Yeah, so me and Brooke are going back and forth here. Sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to get the tent location. Hey, Bri, how would you guys explain this sport to me? Do y'all want to explain this sport to me? Bino, how does Kentucky, during this same period where we can't beat them here, there, or anywhere, it's like pulling teeth when we beat them. Even our 2022 team, the game ends with them going into the end zone, about to win the game. Even when we beat them, it feels like we're pulling teeth, right?
Yes.
Killer Dude says the most appropriate way would be Lagway's backup, come in and beats us down like the Jags got beat down yesterday by a backup quarterback, Bri. It's evoking your Jags, Bri. It was 30.
I'm going to have to revisit the definition of appropriate.
Well, I'm just thinking about the series because I want to do a show at some point next couple of weeks on my favorite moment in the Florida series over the last 30 years, and then my most tortured moment in the last 30 years. Now, the tortured moment, there are so many to choose from. There are so many great stories. I mean, going down there in the late 90s and doing the show, and walked out of there with the belt. The most beautiful thing was in 2001 being on the roof there, but it was just all at the Purple Porpoise down there on their, what used to be their strip. None of these places have strips anymore because these people come in and build big, huge, whatever it is they build. But Janoy says losing on a Hail Mary in the last second by some scrub backup as they come from 2 scores down would be a pretty apropos thing. Can you guys explain to me, and maybe I missed this, how Florida is capable of losing 38-7, Bino? 38-7.
They quit. That's what it is.
Bino, did you watch it?
I did not, Tony. I didn't watch a second of it.
Did you, Brian?
Yeah, I saw most of it, enough to know that Florida's only score came after a muff punt. They had to go 13 yards. and that was their offense.
That was it. Yep. Bino, is the pressure now on us? Does this augment the pressure on Josh Heupel and the program after Florida loses 38-7? They had 143 passing yards in the game. They threw 3 interceptions. They averaged 3.3 yards per carry. Lagway got benched. Second time in a row. Second time this year, rather. LSU was the other time where Lagway just looked. Well, he just looked like not an option quarterback, but he looked like an optional quarterback. Florida actually had a 7-3 lead early in the game, as Brian's talking about. Then they got outscored 35-0. They averaged 3.9 yards per pass play. And that Kentucky team can't play. They can't play. And this Tramel Jones kid, if he is their quarterback going forward, decommitted about 10 months ago from Florida State and committed there. And they're going to throw him out on the field against Florida State in what will be a real stink ball of a game. There is no reason that Tennessee shouldn't add their name on the list of teams that have beaten the Florida Gators. No reason. Post Urban Meyer in their building. No reason. Kentucky's on that list a couple times. Arkansas's on that list. Mississippi State's on that list. There's no reason. And Bino, it would be very appropriate for Tennessee to play them and either beat them or not, and then Lane Kiffin to take that job. You know that, right? Now that they're going off our schedule, we don't have to see him every year. Is it going to bother you, Beanstar, if Kiffin takes that job, or would you sell his success there? Where are you on just the concept of Lane Kiffin and the Florida Gators?
I think he'll be very good there, Tony, if he takes the job. I don't. He likely won't be Spurrier. He likely won't be Urban Meyer.
Yep.
But he'll be the closest thing they've seen down there to those two guys. I would prefer him take a job somewhere else, but I mean, he's going to take one within this league.
Yep.
And now that the schedule has changed, it wouldn't make a tremendous amount of difference if he were at Florida or LSU. I wish he would go outside the league, but he'll do a really good job there, I think.
Bry, if he goes there, Florida gets back to national championship contention, yes or no?
They certainly get to the top of what I would consider the top of the SEC. They'd be top 5-ish team every year. And yeah, I think they probably could average 9 to 10 wins with Lane Kiffin there. I think he could do that.
Here's the thing that's really interesting between now and then, if that happens. Tennessee's got a game with them in a week and a half there. At the beginning of the season, we all thought there was a possibility that, and we kept saying it, from a Tennessee perspective, maybe your hope is that they would be, at that point, tapped out. I did watch a game Saturday night, and they were big-time tapped out, to Brian Hartman's point. They weren't playing on defense. Offensively, they just, now that freshman receiver got hurt, there's nothing left. And I just wonder what the game looks like. You close your eyes and you think about it. Bri, we're going to find out here in a little bit what time that start is, right? What's your guess, Bri? Afternoon start?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be an evening game. Either noon or evening is what I'm going to stick to.
It's not going to matter. Bino, the difference between our fan base and any other fan base in this league is it's hard to tell when you walk into our stadium what our record is. Now, obviously, the intensity level in your stadium goes up when you get a real opponent in there. Like our place, when you have an Oklahoma or a Georgia in your building, there's nothing like it. So obviously, the intensity level. I think about the Florida situation, and I don't know, Bino, what's best, because this might be one of those deals where we're going to have to generate our own juice. I think you could see 50,000 people in the stadium, maybe 45,000 people. I think there's a scenario that exists where that's a half-filled stadium down there. Watching a Tennessee team that's not marquee and missing the playoffs. No offense to us. And a Florida team that just got absolutely humiliated by Kentucky and now gets to go to a guy that could be their next coach. What do you think, Beanstar, about that? We might have to generate our own juice down there even.
Yeah, which is just another strange thing to go along with this strange environment that we're in right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. There's no question that the pressure's going to be ramped up. I think that's a loss that if Florida was anywhere close to what we thought that they would be at this point in the season, that people might excuse a little bit more. I don't think anybody's ever going to excuse a loss to Vandy, regardless of how good they are.
Yep.
Because it's something that we're just not accustomed to. I think people have unfortunately become accustomed to Florida beating us in Gainesville, but this is an opportunity we've never seen before, like Brian said, and I guess I'm going to borrow a phrase from Philadelphia, when if we don't beat them this time, I will NEVER see us win down there.
Yeah, you're right. If Tennessee plays that game cleanly and properly, Bino, that should be a win, no problem. If they just go out and take care of business, they should roll that team. Roll them. And then you're in that scenario where you scratch an itch. Because the thing I can't figure out about this college football deal is how and why that lame Kentucky program can get them every freaking year now, Bino.
Yeah.
They beat them like 5 out of 6 years. I mean, they just beat on them, and they beat on them.
Absolutely. That's as strange as what's going on with us against Florida. I mean, both of those things are just strange.
Yep. Love me some negative, Dave. The basketball team looked so good over the weekend. Negative Dave had a positive phone call. Did either one of you see the basketball game in the middle of the football weekend? You're excused if you didn't. Quad 4.
I heard the second half a little bit driving around in the car.
How'd the great Mike Keith sound?
I like his tempo.
Yeah, he's really good. You can tell he told me he's going to have to really work at it. You can tell he put in the time, as the musicians like to say out there. 865-200-5402. Mark Stoops has one trick. It's beating the Florida Gators. It's his big win since he's been at Kentucky, rather. It's his big win. It is his big win. And as somebody adroitly points out, now you've got a Lane Kiffin deal set up where, like Doug Dickey back in the day, he gets to play the school he's going to go to, Bino. Do we not love modern college football?
That's history repeating itself. That's a good catch right there.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see who came up with that. Timothy McGee, too. Kudos
Very
to you.
good.
Kudos to you. Guys, let's do a position statement right now. Tennessee cannot lose in Gainesville and maintain credibility in 2025. Yes or no, Bino? You're going to lose credibility if you lose that game. Yes or no, Bino?
Yes.
Yes. I'm landing on that. Position statement. The Volunteers will, if they do not win in Gainesville this year, will not be a credible football program. And it will not be acceptable to lose to that team. Because as Bino just said, collectively, we as a fan base, we as a people, we the people, Dutch Mantel, collectively, we have to look in the mirror and say, you cannot let that happen. I'm telling you right now, Matt Dixon said it, by the time Ole Miss gets done with them, there will be 45,000 people at that game. If that. Nobody unplugs like that Florida fan base. Nobody doesn't show up like that Florida fan base. They are so unique in that. They are the greatest front runners in the world. Now, I will tell you this. In the last 15 years since Urban Cryer walked out of there, they've had some pretty good practice in unplugging, and they're very good at it. They're very good at it. Brian, do you buy Lane Kiffin in Florida? Because what I hear is, I hear he's fascinated with the idea of going back to where Layla's father won a Heisman Trophy. The late, great John Reeves. I hear he's fired up, folks, prepared with the possibility of being Florida's head coach after he was skipped over several times. And he's now a hot commodity. And look, Florida wants to get it right because they've lost their place in the sport. And we saw that here several years ago because Tennessee sort of refound its place in the sport. Now, not to the degree that some of you would like, but it doesn't make it so. Tennessee has refound its place in the sport. They're playing at the top of the sport. Some of you fall into the trophy culture category where all you want to do is point to the loss to Ohio State last year, and you do you. That's fine. I got a newsflash for you. Nobody was beating Ohio State last year. As in, nobody. But if you want to hold that against Josh Heupel for making the playoffs last year, okay, fine, whatever. You do you. And so they're going to be desperate to get it right. And if they can get him, I'm afraid they're going to get it right. Now, I don't think he's the greatest game manager in the world. He does goofy things. He's a little bit of a goofball. He's a little bit flaky. He's not perfect. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. And by the way, Negative has weighed in on Mike Keith over here on YouTube. Bino, Jeff, I'm going to let you decide. Is it a positive review from Negative or a negative review from Negative? Bino, what do you got?
Well, I hope this one's a positive review. Personally, I really like what Mike Keith's doing.
Yeah, I wish Negative could say the same, but unfortunately for him, he's Negative, and I'm not. On the other side, right after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw, available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com, or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com.
Cold weather is on its way, and keeping your home warm and cozy doesn't have to cost a fortune. Upgrade your HVAC system with Pipe Wrench Home Services and get payments as low as $137 per month. You'll also save on utility bills with a new energy-efficient HVAC system to keep your home warm and comfortable through the holidays. We make it easy with free on-site estimates on replacements and free second opinions on repairs. So call or schedule your appointment online today at pipewrench.com and get a new energy-saving HVAC system for as little as $137 per month. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
Oh, CJ, I'm so sorry for speaking over you there, buddy. Bad habit on my part. 865-200-5402, the numero uno, dos. Shout out to the great Austin Collins, who's asked me today if we need some, if our friends from Amachi could use some tailgate spots this week, or some parking spots this weekend over where he buys like 50 every week for his tailgate. And the answer is yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Anybody that wants to participate in this thing, reach out. If you've got an enhancer or two that you can consider, think of, any kind of enhancer or two, we are here for you. 865-200-5402. Brent V looks ahead and says, Vols versus Florida tickets are $120 over on SeatGeek. Still expensive. That doesn't matter. As somebody that buys and resells things in the kind of junking around market, there's a saying. And here's the saying. Something's only worth what someone's worth paying for it. Or somebody's willing to pay for it. I'm sorry, I can't even figure out what I'm trying to say here. So in other words, don't believe the hype, because I certainly don't believe that hype. Tickets will be plentiful and cheap, and you go down there, you'll be able to get in for $50 outside that game, if that. If that. All right, before we get back to the phones, Bino, Jeff Henderson, what did you make of, and then we'll go to the phones at 865-200-5402. Here are the questions. Or do you agree with the position statement on Florida? That is a now. You cannot lose that football game and have a credible football program in 2025. That's the position statement that our show has taken. You cannot, if you're the University of Tennessee and you want me to take you seriously, go down there and lose that game. Florida Gators are laying there. They're begging for it. Laying there. They're beyond playing out the string. That effort, and I use it in quotes, on the road in Lexington was embarrassing to me, and I'm a Vol fan. It's just embarrassing to me as somebody who likes sports. It's like Brian Hartman's Jags over the weekend, for crying out loud. Bino, lay it on me here. Vanderbilt, what are they? Kind of a fun fascination. The air comes at them this weekend with Kentucky, or we better buckle our seatbelts. What are they?
No, we better buckle our seatbelts. Right now, that's a real solid football team, and a focused and motivated football team, and you can't put them away football team.
I know our fan base doesn't like this Pavia guy. I know several people don't like him. I know Matt gets tired of me kind of pumping him up. This Pavia guy is the spitting definition of one of those dudes where when he's on your team, you love him. When you're going against him, you hate him for all he's worth. He's so unique, Bino, I can't even figure out who he reminds me of in that sport. His impact on them, this league, what he's done. Does he remind you guys, can you think of anything like Pavia? The impact he's had on those guys?
You know, I can think maybe Drew Gilbert would come to mind, crossing sports.
That's very good.
It's very good,
That's
Brian.
very good.
Jawan Jennings, maybe.
Yep, that's very good as well. He's not as talented, but he's got a. I've heard people say Johnny Manziel, and that's got some merit to it, I believe. And I do not like him. I mean, I don't like his brashness. He's like Signetti to me, but I don't have to like someone to really respect and appreciate what they're doing. And both of those guys, I give them credit.
He's almost so unlikable, Bino, that I kind of like him.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that's the way Signetti is for a lot of folks too. And I was watching Signetti, and he, in the same statement before the game at Penn State, he won me and then lost me back. They asked him they said, Indiana's never won at Penn State. And he said, this team has never played at Penn State. And he was right. And then they asked him something about him having some concerns, and he just went straight Richard again, said, the time for concern is over. It's time to beat them. And just walked off.
I think I'd want a coach like that.
Oh, if he were our
on my
coach,
side.
No, if he were our coach, I'd absolutely love him, Brian. And you have, in order to raise the level of play at Indiana or raise the level of play at Vanderbilt, you have to have that in you. I don't think anyone else could have done that outside of Pavia at Vanderbilt and Signetti at Indiana.
Alan makes a really good point over here on YouTube. WeShipFloors.com, Alan. There were a ton of Vanderbilt fans at that game over the weekend. I mean, Auburn fans, rather. For as hot as Vanderbilt football's gotten, you would think that opposing fans wouldn't be able to buy their way into that building the way that they were the other night. There were tons of them in there. And here's the thing about Auburn football. See, they have a fan base that deserves to win. That's a show-up fan base, or like we are. They're a show-up fan base. They don't always get their money's worth, obviously, Martin Colombo. But they are a show-up, show-out fan base. See, here's what we have. Tell me if you guys saw this coming into the year. Your playoff teams right now are Georgia and Alabama. We kind of all knew that coming into the year. By the way, the quarterback at Alabama, they have the weirdest offense I've ever seen because I'm not sure what they do well, but whatever it is they do it well when it matters. But Ty Simpson's had a really nice year. So you've got those two teams that are, I'm just convinced are just going to win out and win. And I'm not sure either one of them's all that good. I've got this Texas A&M bunch, Bino. They've never done anything in their adult lives. But I'll be damned if coaching doesn't matter. This Mike Elko guy is winning in a spot where nobody's ever really won. With a quarterback from Nashville who's really developed and really grown into a very good college football player and a very good leader. Ole Miss is tracking to make the playoffs. That's 4 teams. I got 4 now. And if Vanderbilt beats us in a couple weeks in Neyland Stadium, that's going to be 5 out of this league that are going to go. How do you keep any of them home, Bino? If they all keep winning.
I don't think you will, Tony. As I told you when the season started, I'll believe when I see that a 10-2 SEC team does not make the playoffs.
If a 10-2 team does miss the playoffs, Bri, who would it be? Would it be Ole Miss or would it be Vanderbilt? Because they're not going to leave one of those halves behind. Not going to happen. And again, this is all contingent on the ACC being a one-bid league. Nothing screwy happening in the Big 12. Notre Dame continues to win. Or maybe they don't. But who's going to beat them left on their schedule? Maybe a USC.
I could see a 10-2 Vanderbilt based on the fact that they don't have a tremendously large fan base.
Yep.
Maybe being left out.
Yep. Now, there is a thought, and I said it earlier, this Boley guy at Kentucky is kind of a game changer, sort of the same way. And when you see these guys emerge on the scene, you see them do it for more than a game. He was pretty good against us. They won last weekend. They won again this weekend. 2 wins in a row. So obviously, Kentucky's found something at quarterback. He's a local kid, which means, they're not going to have to fight to keep him. And all of a sudden, Kentucky fans could be happy with Bob Stoops and his maybe 3-5 SEC record. That's how crazy things can change in this league, because they could beat Vanderbilt. Kentucky could beat Vanderbilt. And you know what, Bino? Vanderbilt, to me, felt like they were playing history the other day. You could sense the weightiness on them against Auburn, Beanstar. Which, by the way,
you could sense it when they played Texas the first half.
Yeah, the weightiness of this thing, which gives me hope for the end of the season, because they'll come on here, they'll come into our building. If they get by Kentucky, they'll come into our building with the weight of the world on their shoulders. And either one of 2 things is going to happen. This Pavia guy is going to have the game of his life, and they're going to whack us, which is on the table. He could run all over our defense if he's healthy enough. Or they're not going to handle it well, and we're going to crack them, and maybe crack them wide open. And I don't know how to feel about Vandy. I don't know how to feel about Vandy, Kentucky. That I know I'm with Bino. I know Vanderbilt's got a very solid team, but man, the league is so interesting this year. And the sport is so interesting.
I kind of think that there's more. The Florida game, to me, is more no tolerance than Vandy right now.
Yep.
Because I think Vandy's a lot better than Florida.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that, Brian. But saying with a straight face that you should go to Florida and win, there have been years the Vols have gone there and lost when Georgia Southern and Vanderbilt whacked them. The difference now, Bino, is the reason this one would be unforgivable is in past years, we played Florida before the air was out of the sails. They would have to refill their sails now with air in order to get up and beat us. That's the difference.
Yeah, and there's another beating coming before we ever get there.
That's right.
Too. So, yeah, I mean, there's little excuse to go down and win that game. The only thing that they have going for them at this point is just the series history.
That's it.
And most of this Tennessee team hasn't experienced that.
Well, it's like Kurt Signetti said. This team's never played there. I mean, that's right. You'd say what you want to say about him. He went to a complete losing program and somehow managed to change their mindset overnight. And that's not an easy thing to do. That's not an easy thing to do.
And Penn State still has players I don't think Florida has.
Hell yeah, Bri. Hell yeah.
It's not surprising that game was close. Indiana had to overcome a lot of history, and despite their record, a pretty good team on the road.
And they had a guy make an incredible play in the back of the end zone to win the game. At this point in the year, they don't care how. They care how many.
Indiana didn't have their best receiver.
And
I'm not sure, Tony, that there's ever been a better reclamation job in college football than Signetti's done at Indiana.
Yep. Nobody will know this. Only God knows this. How many people did Nick Saban get fired when he came into this league and made it look easy? A whole bunch of guys, including Philip Fulmer. He got Fulmer fired. And that's faux show. You agree with that, Bino? He got Fulmer fired. And a myriad of coaches, by the way.
Along with Meyer. Meyer got Fulmer fired, too.
Fair statement, Beanstar?
I think that was I think that certainly that was the biggest impetus. I mean, that's what wore on people, just like Alabama wore on people with majors.
Signetti has gotten a bunch of guys. He got James Franklin fired in that league. People are looking at him and they're going, wait a second. This guy's got more bigger wins than you do in a year and a half. What are you doing? Get out. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402.
You got people fired like Pearl got him fired.
That's exactly
when
right.
When he first got here and people looked at this program and said, what in the world? And Pearl had a lot to do with getting Fulmer fired.
Did Vitello have a lot to do with getting other SEC baseball coaches fired?
Probably. I would think certainly.
Yeah, pretty interesting. 865-200-5402 if you want to hunt mix with us and mix hunt with us. We'd love to hear from you. Today on the one and only It Is Your Basilio Show as we get ready to go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. Let's get our next call in as we jump our next call into the show. Hi, welcome in. You're on our TLD Logistics phone line on a Monday. Hi.
What's going on, guys? Right on schedule. You were going to say a lot of things I said. It's Hoosier Ball Ryan.
Hit it, brother.
Got to start, got to ask, Tone. What did your boys up in... It's State College, ain't it? Isn't that the name of it? Up in Philly area. What did they say about that having the hearts ripped out of their chest there? That was unbelievable.
A couple of them had great lines. They said, when you manage a series the way that Penn State's interim coach managed the series before they gave the ball back to Indiana.
I couldn't believe it.
What, when you're an interim coach, Bino, why are you playing anything close to the vest at any point in a football game? I've never understood that. I'm an interim coach. I am a substitute teacher. I have no chance of getting the job. What are you doing? And Ryan, to those that didn't see it, describe what we're talking about, because literally, when that happened, you knew the game of giving the ball back to them. That's an interim coach that should be fired.
Katron Allen right, Katron Allen left. Tight end, not Bino's boy and my boy, sort of, up there in Indianapolis. Not Tyler Warren screen. Tight end dump down. Screws up the 2-minute punt. Gives Cignetti a timeout in the 2-minute.
Yeah. You don't even run the clock down to 2 minutes.
After they were running it down our throats for real, when they were really running. Not like, let's just get out of here running, like, we're going to really run the score.
A give-up series. They're trying to salt the game away, Beanstar, and they came with their worst stuff all day and had a give-up series. And look, we see it in this league all the time. Why in the world do I give the ball back to you in that spot when everybody knows what's going to happen? Everybody knows.
Let's give the best winner in college football right now, other than Kirby Smart, a chance to beat me one last time. Pretty brilliant.
Makes no sense.
I have
I'm
no.
sorry,
I have no.
And then, and Tone, that defense is so stone cold great. They sacked Fernando Mendoza on first down, and it's cooked. You watch enough college football, the game is over when that happens. No, it ain't.
Not with him.
I love the Vols, Tone. You know I love the Vols. You guys have heard me. How many times have you all ever heard me talk about Indiana football?
That would be never.
This year?
That'd be never.
Because there was no reason to. Y'all, everyone can hate it all you want. Something is in the air up there. Because that Penn State defense, that's the Oklahoma team on steroids we saw last year.
No question.
You think Oklahoma's defense is great and a bad offense? You need to watch that Penn State team play. If I tell old boy Penn State guy that sucks for RDC, I'd say, you want to keep your job? You get up there and tamper with those linebackers and safeties, or else you're out of here. Because, Tone, how good will we be with Penn State linebackers and safeties?
How good would Tennessee be with their defense?
That's not a crap team. I know everyone's crapped on them, but I was scared going into that game. I said, this is it. If we get around today, we're 12-0. But it could happen today. But
well, here's the thing, right? The Mendoza guy shows me the value in identifying a veteran quarterback and moving and getting and securing a veteran quarterback. And you know what, Bino? There is John Adams has been beating this drum perhaps too much for some people's tastes. He does not think it would be wise for Tennessee to go into next year with a true freshman against the first ever 9-game SEC schedule, which, by the way, is going to be a lot more difficult than the schedule you've played the last couple of years here. There's just no doubt about that. Either that or a lightly used, light, redshirt freshman quarterback who, by the way, I think George McIntyre is very talented. I'm not sure that's setting him up to succeed either, throwing him out there with very little experience against that schedule beginning next year with the Georgia Tech game in Atlanta, which is not, I'm telling you right now, that is a way step up in competition from that Syracuse team that we saw last year. And so it begs the question, guys, and Indiana's shown you this, you can make a lot of hay with one of these transfer quarterbacks if you can identify one, and you pay them. And you just pay them, and you tell the young kids, "Hey, I'm sorry, but this is the reality we're in now." And by the way, if I go 6-6 this year, they're going to be all over me. I love you guys, and I love your show, but this is the reality I'm in right now. Bino, what side of the fence do you come down on here as we're in mid-November?
I think the best approach, Tony, is to find, if you can identify this guy, you find a one-year player. You find a one-year quarterback that has experience, and you bring him in. And if McIntyre and Faison, if either one of those guys are unwilling to wait that one extra year, then you just let them go. I think McIntyre will wait. I don't know about Faison, but yes, I think with what we're facing next year, our best option is now only a one-year guy.
1 year.
I don't want to bring in a guy that these guys have to wait 2 years behind. I don't think that's fair to the guys you signed.
But this Mendoza guy, the guy last year they got out of the MAC, I mean, that somebody in that Indiana program, and then the receivers they've surrounded this guy with, somebody in that Indiana program knows what they're doing when it comes to player personnel.
Well, yeah, and look, I love Tennessee. Always will. You know, the thing with Indiana is when sports fate touches someone, I wish it would have touched the Vols, but y'all, I just think somehow it touched Indiana football. Season's not over yet, but you guys are right. You follow the sport enough, you read the history. It defies explanation what you're seeing in Bloomington. And I think I'll take it a step further on Franklin. Although I don't think they did the homework, because Signetti's from Pittsburgh, and Tone, you know how that Pittsburgh-Penn State feeling is. I assume they fired Franklin, and they said, we're going to pick this phone up. We're going to call Bloomington, and he's going to say, I'm in, make it look good for TV, because that's what's always happened. And he didn't say that. And out the door for the Florida, Signetti's right. We always lose in Florida, but these guys ain't played Florida. And Josh Heupel, please be a little more like Signetti. And if you're going to keep Banks, he needs to tamper with all those safeties and linebackers up there in Penn State. I know we like to crap on the Big Ten down here. If you gave that Penn State defense to this team with a real DC, we'd be cooking with grease, guys.
Thank you, brother. If you gave Penn State's defense to this Tennessee team, you would have blown everybody out. And I mean everybody. And you'd be undefeated right now. 865-200-5402. I don't care what league you're playing in. They got a bunch of NFL guys on their defense. And we kind of don't. I'll continue with more as we come back. 865-200-5402. Here's the thing about the modern game, and we need to start thinking this way. Most of these jobs are pretty equal now. You can win at most any job. Look at the guy at Vanderbilt. Why are they winning? They've invested in it. That's obvious. They've got a highly paid payroll. You can sit there, we can pretend like they don't. They invested money in that deal. Hour number 2 after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, 5th quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations, Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
TB back with you half asleep on a Monday. And it sounds like it. Wake up, Tone. Wake yourself up. 865-200-5402. I was in the process of sending something over to Amachi Brook because we're getting ready, ladies and gentlemen, for our 10th annual Keith Hatfield tailgate with the kids. And we're closing in on our ticket goal. We need your help. Amachi Tailgate Tickets at gmail.com. Amachi's a tremendous program that mentors children that have one or both parents incarcerated, and just trying to show these kids we love them and do our part. And it's a beautiful thing. And shout out to our two unnamed people in Nashville who buy us our spot over at Tailgate, Tennessee. I will share that spot with you momentarily. And I'm telling Brooke to look at this map here. We're doing all this but we're going to be, let me read this map to you. Bino likes stuff like this. And then we'll go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Bino, what's the Colts record right now?
Colts are 8-2, Tony, going into their bye week. I would have never, ever, ever dreamed that.
We're going to be on the white lawn, ladies and gentlemen. White lawn. Not the orange lawn, but the white lawn. And we're W8. 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 We're 2 tenths down from WVLT's tent. See if there's anybody else here that I know. Team Health, shout out Lance. Brookview. UT's Tickle College. My daughters are graduated of that. We're right near them. So right on, Josephine, baby, right on. Again, W8, white 8, W8, W8. We're 2 tenths down from the UT Spirit Squad, and I'm hoping you all will leave them alone. Brian, any word yet on Tennessee's kickoff time with Florida? And let's guess it before they show it, Brian. What's the time going to be?
I'm going to go with 7:30. I'll say it'll be an ESPN telecast. It'll be either 7. I'll say 7 o'clock.
I'm going to go afternoon game. Early afternoon game. Bino, do you have a preference? What's easier, what's harder?
I do not have a preference, Tony. My guess is that this is going to be a early afternoon game, a 12 or 12:40 or whenever, depending on whether they're on ABC or whether they're on SEC Network. think it'll be the early game on one of those two.
That Taylor Zazor guy that did the Vanderbilt game the other day, Bino, sounds just like Mark Packer doing those high school games. And once you hear that, you can't unhear it. To the phones we go. Brent V3 is calling for a 4:15 Eastern Dave Neal special, Bri. A Dave Neal special.
I could see that. I keep wondering about, well, I think you don't want to face a team on the road at night, but I don't know that it really is going to matter in this game.
I just want to get it over
when
with.
That game is.
The last time we won there, it was an afternoon game. Or am I imagining
I think it was
that?
like a late afternoon game that kind of bled into the evening.
Yeah. I thought it was
actually. I thought it was the last time they won was a noon game. The 2001 was that game. I think the last time they won was a noon kick.
The one there? I thought it was 2004 was the last time they won there.
2003. I think that was a noon kick because I remember
it
being
was a noon
Calhoun's
kick.
on the river.
That's exactly right.
And
it was a noon
James
kick.
Banks had that Hail Mary at the end of the half.
That's exactly right. Yep. James Banks. Wow. What a big deal that was when we got him out of Indianapolis. They had a big, huge assembly. We had it live on the show back then. Great memory, Bri.
I think Signetti gets him this year if he's coming out.
We were live at Calhoun's on the river. Yeah, oh yeah. He would be staying at home. So let's go back to the phones. And we'll get our next call in at 865-200-5402. If you want to go back to our phones and let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You are live with us and in living color. Welcome in on the show.
Greetings, Tony. Bino.
Hey, Vandy Joe. Welcome in, buddy.
How you guys doing?
Doing great, man.
You back doing better?
Getting there, yep.
Well, I found out my fate Friday.
Prayers up to you. Prayers up.
Yes,
my man.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a long road. Long road. We'll talk about something more pleasant. What'd you think of Saturday?
I think your guys are very much alive.
I think we're very
much
fortunate.
alive. Well, yeah, you got to have some fortune in this deal, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You wonder why? You wonder what changed the tide for them?
Yep.
A guy by the name of Daniel Deermeyer. You know who that is?
No.
He's the chancellor. Until
he's the what, Joe?
That
he's a chancellor, Bino. He's a chancellor.
Oh, okay.
He's the chancellor of the university.
Right.
If he wouldn't have done what he did, I don't think they'd be anywhere near where they are right now. He decided to buck everything that was Vanderbilt history since I was born, and say we're going to support athletics at this place, and that met with a ton of resistance. And now, while the eggheads are still not in on everything that's going on, the Board of Trust is. And I think you're going to see them hang around for a while. The basketball team's looking good. The women's soccer team even won the SEC yesterday in a kickoff, but which I watched the last little bit of. And so fortunes athletically are looking up for them. So who knows? We'll just. I figure we're playing with house money.
Yep.
It's sort of the way I look at it right now. They're going to go. they may not win another game the rest of the season, but we're playing with house money, and I'm just I'm amazed at what's going on, really.
Joe, you can say that, but when you have a once-in-a-lifetime year and you have something in your hands and you're this close to realizing it, the concept of Vanderbilt landing a playoff berth is just astounding to me. The pressure that those guys must feel. Now, look, they get an off week this week. That Kentucky bunch gets that salty Tennessee Tech team. Bobby Wilder, by the way, is going to join us coming up on Thursday on the program, who's taken Tennessee Tech back from the abyss, and they are really, really very good right now.
Oh, yeah, they're excellent.
And so he's going to join us on the show. But look, it's easy for you to say we've already accomplished what we want, however you want to put that. We've already had our season.
I'm not saying we've had our season. What I'm saying is we're playing with house money. So we're free and loose.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think things are in a lot better place than you might think they are.
I don't think that was a free and loose game for them with Auburn. It felt like they were pulling teeth against a losing team.
Their defense was horrendous. This off week couldn't have come at a better time for them to self-scout their defense and figure out what they need to do for the last two games of the season.
Beanstar, we are going to attack the middle of the field on Vanderbilt, and we're going to restore order to college football as we knock them out of the deal. You know that, right, Bino? The middle of the field will be attacked.
Yeah, yes. The middle of the field will be attacked, coming in both directions.
No question.
I think that's a very salient point, Bino, because I think they're both going to attack the middle of the field, and it may be the team that's got the ball last that ends up winning the game.
Yeah.
Think about this.
That Stowers combination scares me to death.
Vandy could make a 12-team playoff before Florida and programs like LSU do.
Yep.
I'll give you a name to watch when the game comes off. Watch 16.
That's not a name, Joe. That's a number.
That's a number, and his name's Cole Spence.
Okay.
Watch him.
You're the man, Joe. I appreciate that. Cole Spence. We're taking notes and taking names. Cole Spence. And we got numbers. So we go back to our TLD Logistics phone line. I erroneously said earlier that John Reeves won a Heisman Trophy at Florida. That was not John Reeves. But let's go back to the phones and get our next call in. I knew Reeves as the guy that played for Spurrier with the Tampa Bay Bandits in the USFL, and he was pretty damn good there. He was like 33, 34 years old and was throwing it around for them back in the day, throwing it around. He came out of Tampa, Florida. He was a first-round pick, ladies and germs, of my Philadelphia Eagles. He was the 14th overall pick in the 1972 draft, and like a lot of Eagle draft picks back then, he didn't do much. He was a first-team All-America, and he's a member of the Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame. But let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on our Monday edition. Hi.
Happy Beano Day.
Hey, Polly.
What's up, Polly?
How we doing, guys?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Prayers up for Vandy Joe.
Yep.
Whatever's going on. Tony, I got to give him a little credit, you know. I had a topic of what I was going to call, but I have to give a compliment to Vandy Joe.
Yep.
Because I love the relationship of conversation between you and Vandy Joe and I clarified Joe over the years because I remember the great bit when he got mad. I've only heard him get kind of angry a couple times, but it was always when you were calling him Vandy Joke.
That's terrible.
But of all, I want to give him a compliment because of all the times he could just go off, Is this year with Pavia, what he's done in Vandy. But he didn't.
No.
So I want to give him a little compliment. I respect that because, you know me, I kind of can't do that yet.
What does that mean?
Hopefully I'll get better with my age.
What does that mean you can't do that?
I try to, but...
He wants to wait till the game's played. He's already doing that thing that, people that are part of losing fan bases usually do when they start talking about house money. You know with the Cubs. You know with the Cubs, that one year they went, there's such thing as house money. When you get this close to winning something and you've never won, the pressure only increases.
Dino always gives me HE double hockey sticks.
Yep.
When we're on our fireside chat.
Yep.
But I tell Bino, I said, Bino, I'm always hard on my own team. I'm harder on my own teams than anyone.
Yep.
But okay, so here we are with the Tennessee program. This is what I see is, just think of any football program, not these days, any football program, not Tennessee. Mm-hmm. When you're in your 5th year now, that's a long time for a coach.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in your 5th year, and when it comes down to it, when you need a yard, and your defense is at the worst in 5 years that in your program, and when you need a yard and you can't get it, and your defense is at an all-time low, 5 years in, that's a problem. Signetti is a lot like Vitello, and that was a great comment. When I heard that post-game interview, I was like, wow, man, that's exactly what Vitello's mentality is. When you've never won here, well, this team's never played here, bruh.
Yeah, I loved that portion of the comment. I thought that was spot on. It was the next one that he went back straight Signetti on the poor sideline girl.
I didn't see that. Oh, yeah, I did kind of, but I've only watched it once. And then the other thing here, and then I'll let you go. And here's my question for you two. Is, you know how everyone's saying that Kiffin, Heupel is a better coach because he's been to a postseason, Kiffin's been to 0?
Yep.
Well, the same people they're saying that are the same people that are saying that Barnes is better than Pearl. And look what Pearl did. He's been to 2 Final Fours in 8 years, and Barnes been to 1 in 40-something. So how can you have that same argument, same person? I mean, that was the first year with a 12-team playoff ever, and he made it. He made it. Give him credit. But if you're going to say that he's better than Kiffin, because Kiffin hasn't been to a playoff, then how can you say
Joe,
Barnes has done better than Pearl?
You were having such a good phone call, and then you had to play the hits, man.
That's what I was complimenting Vandy Joe.
Well, why did you play the hits? Why did you have to do that, man? Bino, he was having such a good call, right? And then he had to go and play the hits.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bino, comment on that. This guy's just need to play the hits.
Tony, I'm not going to make Paulie's phone call for you. As he told you off the air, I'm not too easy on Paulie, but I've heard it all. I've heard it all. And like I told you, our phone calls always end the same way, with me telling him that he's one of the lunatic fringe, and he starts making sheep noises at me. That's just our phone call.
865.
Still love Paulie.
865-200-5402. And Brian, for the record, Rick Barnes a better basketball coach than Bruce Pearl, yes or no? Have we had that discussion? Or is Pearl a better basketball coach than Rick Barnes at this point, if you had to evaluate?
I really think that's a coin flip. Rick Barnes has sort of been more consistent recently. With Pearl, it's Final Four or bust. Meaning, when he didn't go to the Final Four, he never got out of the first weekend. So, I don't think you can say definitive. You've got an argument either way.
Yeah, I think that is an interesting argument. I think that's an interesting argument. There is very little doubt that Bruce Pearl's one of the great winners we've seen, and his force of will brought Tennessee basketball back. And Tennessee quickly, and I give Dave Hart a lot of credit, they moved off Conzo Martin. They moved off Donnie Tyndall when he opened the door for him, and they grabbed Rick Barnes. Very smart thing Dave Hart did. And in a sea of real stupidity for Dave Hart, but that was a very smart thing he did.
Took over the program when they'd been to one tournament in, I think, 6 years. So he sort of had a resurrecting job to do on his own. It took him 3 years to do it.
Yep.
So both kind of built up the program and the brand.
Yeah, tough. It's that's tough sport, and it's harder now than it's ever been because it's pickup basketball. I wrote today in the blog, I really believe this. On the men's side and the women's side, the sport now looks like, at this time of the year, pickup basketball. Now, you could see glimpses of what makes this Tennessee team tantalizing, but it's glimpses. Because you're just not going to get consistent play at this time of the year. These players are all, you got what, 9 of your 12 are new players, including a point guard and off guard. You're 3. The only thing stable about this team is a couple pieces on the front line. And even J.P. Estrella, to some extent, who's been one of their better players early on, is kind of a new player because the plug was pulled on him so quickly last year. So he's kind of learning as they go. And these quad 4 games, and they'll have 4 of them in a row, are a tough watch. Are a tough watch. But Donnie Tyndall's show cause being star 10 years, that thing's got to be over soon, doesn't it? Because Barnes in his 11th year.
Yeah, you would certainly think so. Absolutely.
I guess this at the end of this season. And why they even have show causes is the silliest thing in the world from the past era. But I did see where Skokan's coming back. Pruitt got a job with whom, guys, as an analyst?
Jacksonville State.
Yeah, Alabama school. He'll be back in the big time. Pruitt will as a DC for somebody before too long.
I'll say this on those 2 topics that Paulie brought up, Tony. After the array of stiffs that I saw roll in here post-Mears, I'm thrilled to death that I saw both Pearl and Barnes coach basketball here. The Kiffin deal, I've always liked Kiffin.
Yep.
I hate he left here.
Yep.
I think he was going to do great things here. But he chose to leave, and the opportunity to bring him back really never has presented itself. So that's that. I think he's an excellent football coach.
2017, I think they just didn't have people in place that were going to do it, but that would have been when he would have brought him back.
Yeah.
Coming off of what he did at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, it's just not who we are. We're just not gonna. We're not gonna bring out. We're not gonna bring a star back here. It's just not who we are. We're not. This is not a star hiring place, guys. It's just not what we want. It is just not what we want.
But remember this, Tony Vitello was not a star, or even close to being a star when they hired him.
That's right. That's right.
He became one.
And look at the resistance he got internally when he became one. I'm just telling you, down through the years, this is just not. Hey, when Pearl was here's a dirty little secret. They were sick of Pearl when he got in trouble with the NCAA. He had gotten too big around town. But, some people aren't going to like me saying that, but I am dealing in facts here. Yes or no?
Well, I mean, you would know better than I if that were facts, Tony. It's certainly the impression that you get.
Bino, what happened to Johnny Majors when he really started winning in the early 90s? Just answer the question. I want anybody to answer the question. He was going around shooting his mouth off with the boosters. And they don't like stars. We like compliance here. That's okay. Rick Barnes is a adroit political animal who stays in the background, knows how to play the game. Do you see Rick Barnes being a star, Bino? Putting himself out there and being a star?
Well, let's put it this way, Tony. I don't think they like irritants.
So we continue with more on the other side. That's the point. And
I don't know about stars, but they don't like irritants.
And Lane Kiffin, during his tenure here, well, my gosh, you could have a 60 for 60 on that, a 180 for 180 a couple hundred years from now after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline, online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
So, Josh Heupel just had his press conference over at UT, and no word on when the Florida game is. We're watching that. And he had one interesting thing to say about Staley. Brian, I'm going to put that under the heading tomorrow over on the blog at tclub.teams. I'm not afraid to tell him myself under Sit Down and Shut Up, Basilio. Go ahead, Brian. From the
he just said
Sit Down and Shut Up, Basilio, easy for me to say, category.
He was just that confident in his ability that he didn't think it affected their roster building and who they let leave and who they didn't bring in and who they let leave.
Read me the quote, Brian. Read me the whatever it was.
I'll have to go pull it back up here.
Pull it.
He said that.
Pull it.
He said the strong play of freshman slot receiver Braylon Staley is unsurprised. He said his staff was so confident in him that it impacted off-season roster building decisions, which means probably who they let leave and didn't bring in. So that's according to Wes Rucker.
Bino, what did I do back in the spring and summer and off-season?
You ripped this receiving core, Tony.
Was I right or wrong?
That's one you were wrong on, Tony.
Have you ever known me, Bino, to not own things as they occur?
No, you're an owner, Tony. You own your gaps.
Some could call me an operator. Some could call me an owner-operator.
Yes.
Let's go back to the phones. Young kids that attempt to do this, and I do mean attempt. Here's a little lesson for you. It's okay to be wrong. It's called the human condition. Don't stay wrong. Don't stay wrong. And when you do what I do, be pretty transparent with it. Show people you're a human being. And when you open your microphone, look into your camera. Don't be afraid to give your opinion. Don't be afraid to have a take. Try to, as best you can, make your take based in knowledge and your opinion based in knowledge. And you're still going to swing a miss. But when you swing a miss, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, do me a favor. Own it. Now, that said, they better be very active in the portal this offseason on defense. Bino, do I get an amen out of you, or can I get a hell yeah from like a Stone Cold Steve Austin? Do you agree, Bino, they better be upgrading their defense out of that portal this year, or no?
That's an amen, Tony. Amen.
Yeah. Back to the phones we go. And here's the thing. You've got, if you're doing your homework in your Tennessee, you've got a ton of places that are in flux or about to be. All you have to do is take the flow chart and say, okay, this is the opening. Who are they filling the opening with? Those are two schools right there where you can go get kids now. Two destabilized programs. And Josh Heupel, you're stable. Now, with Skullcamp coming back to college football, Bino, a thought occurred to me. Would you rather have Jeremy Pruitt as your defensive coordinator, the Scowy, or would you rather have, I always call him James Banks because Bride did it last week, Tim Banks as your DC? Where you at, Bri? Or Bino?
Jeremy Pruitt or Banks?
Yeah.
I think Pruitt's easily a better DC than Banks.
Tim Banks or James Banks, who Bri had last week as our DC?
I would take Pruitt.
Back to the phones we go.
I don't know that I wouldn't rather have James Banks sometimes as our DC than Tim Banks.
After this year, I'll take Ernie Banks.
Back to the phones. You think Ernie could teach him how to lie? Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Garrick up in snowy South Bend. How we doing?
Oh, snowy in South Bend. We got some school closings for you.
Yeah, well, they don't close schools up here. I think they got about 5 to 7 inches. Everything's running just fine.
That's what. Wow, 5 to 7 inches. That's amazing, man.
Yeah. You guys were talking about Donnie Tyndall and his show cause and all that.
Yep.
Do you guys remember seeing earlier in the year that Billy Gillespie at Tarleton State got, I guess, suspended or whatever, and they ended up reinstating him, but that was their guy that they were essentially betting to maybe take the Tarleton State job was Donnie Tyndall. I thought that was the funniest thing.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting.
And I went up to Chicago yesterday to watch IU play Marquette, and I'll tell you, it was so crazy seeing Big Rod Clark over there on the IU coaching staff. I totally forgot he left the staff and headed up here, but that was wild. I kind of forgot that he left over the off season.
How did IU look in person the other night? What did you think?
They looked pretty good. I think that between the coach's son, DeVries, and the kid from Sam Houston that they picked up, if they catch lightning in a bottle, I think that they can beat just about anybody, but they were lacking rim protection depth, and they only have one kid that can bring up the ball, it seems like, for him. And the only thing he can do is dribble. I mean, and he looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell. He's rocking a mullet and a Jerry curl type of thing. He's going to fit just fine, fit pretty well in Bloomington, but I don't know. They might be able to catch lightning in a bottle. I think that they're a solid 8 or a 9 seed.
Shout out to my boy Jordan Howe with the Screech reference. Shout out to early season basketball, which is very choppy and kind of a hard sport to watch right now at this time of the year.
Yeah, and I listened to the overtime that you did after the Northern Kentucky game, and it seems like that you've been really beating on the drum of you really want to see Nate play the 2, and I agree with that. I think that'd be a kind of a fun experiment.
Yep.
But who would you have? Who obviously Gillespie, Jacoby's going to be at the 1.
Yeah.
Nate at the 2. Who would you have rounding out the 3, 4, 5 with Ament playing the 2?
I mean, I could put Estrella out there. He could do it. He can shoot the ball a little bit. There are several options for that wing because my front line is so good. See, that's the thing about it. This team, and somebody made the point, well, why wouldn't you go ahead and shore up your 2 with a defender and play some different combinations, like play a men at the 4? You could even do that. I mean, you could sit there. This Tennessee team, unlike you were talking about Indiana, right, who are in the front end of their build under a new coach, you could almost play fantasy basketball with this team. There are so many choices and so many options, which is the point we were making, and I don't think any of them are wrong.
No, I agree, and watching Indiana and watching that, I forgot what his name is. He was at Drake with DeVries whenever he was there first, and then he ended up going to DePaul instead of going to West Virginia with him, and now he's back with DeVries at IU. The only thing, he served one purpose on that roster, on that floor last night, and that was to dribble the ball up the court because Marquette was pressing the entire game, and was to basically facilitate the offense and just, pass the ball around whenever he gets it across half court. And I think that that's something that I don't think that exactly that's Boswell's purpose, but have him. Jacoby and Nate are going to demand the ball, and they're going to have the ball in their hand the majority of the time. Have Boswell play defense and spot up in the corner for most of the offensive possession, and shoot 30 to 35% from the floor. And I think that's a really, really solid option at the 2 for this team, considering how deep we are in the front court and how Jacoby can shoot it, as well as Nate Ament being able to do whatever, because he's a unicorn out there. But I'll shut up. Go Vols. Love you, mean it. Go Big Orange.
Thank you, brother. Connor Enright is the guy you're talking about. And that's the thing. Like, you don't have to be tremendous at every position. Look, my thing about Boswell, and people think I'm not targeting him. I'm just telling you what I hear, which is he's not a Division I basketball player offensively. He's going to be able to score in these Quad 4 games, and that's fine. Now, they do think that he's a Division I defender, but they don't think he's a Division I offensive player. And if they did, they wouldn't have been vehemently going out and trying to replace him. Let's get our next call in. Hi, you're on the air.
What's going on, boys?
Hey, welcome in.
So what? Yeah, I think I'll take James Banks.
You going
at DC next year?
You going with?
I'm good with that.
I mean, the guy we have right now, it's just such a mystery what he does. As Cinco said, he doesn't recruit. I mean, I don't mean to bang on the guy, but geez, man.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of interesting.
I didn't do it. It's what you say.
Family and friends, as we like to say in the trade.
I was looking at. You want to, here's a couple of random things that nobody probably really cares about.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of your Temple Temple football team on Saturday against Army. Did you see any of that?
No, they literally murdered me the week before, so I sat that one out.
So I was on them. They were catching 7.
Yes.
They were down 14. They were down 14-13. They punted the ball back to Army with a little under 10 minutes to go in the game. They never got the ball back. Army kept the ball for 10 minutes and didn't score, and the game ended with them taking a knee at the 1.
Wow.
It wasn't even like a 90-yard drive. It was like 55 yards.
Like
it was the most incredible thing, man.
Like what are we doing, right? What are we doing?
They handed it off and got 2.5 yards every snap. Like it was like fourth down. They would go every time it was a fourth down, like 4th and 1. They went for it, run another 40 seconds off the clock. It was the most pure service academy stuff you've ever seen in your life. But they took a knee at the 1, so Temple plus 7 gets home because the service academies know when to take a knee and not to go in and score. So appreciate those guys.
So they're a fun play, the service academy, for that reason, because they know their role.
Well, they're smart. I mean, he was only up by 1. If they run it in for a touchdown, then it's still a 1-score game, right? And you're giving the ball back to Temple. So yes. I mean, it makes sense. Whereas there's no telling how many other teams probably would have ran it in the end zone. So
yes.
This is a good one. Oregon State played Sam Houston State. It was like the worst team in the country besides UMass. And Oregon State was favored by 21. And they outgained them like 480 to like 130. And they lost. Like it made like 28 touchdowns to like 7. And they lost. Like somehow Sam Houston State won that game. College football's nuts, man. It's stupid.
Well, yeah, and I was telling Beanstar, if you want to make $1 million, start with 2 and start betting on college football because you'll make $1 million.
I don't know. College football is just ridiculous, man. Like I'm on Auburn, like one of the best bets of the weekend, and it loses. Like 6.5, never had a chance. Goes to overtime. Vandy wins by 7. Man, that Vandy team. Dude, I give them Dude, Diego was exhausted in the 4th quarter of that game.
Yes.
And I know he gets on people's nerves, man, but I can't help but like the kid, man. Like, every play, the kid it looked like he could barely walk. But he went out there and made play after play for them to come back and win that game. Like, I don't like Vandy, but, man, I feel good for that kid, actually, man. That was a hell of a win for those guys.
Hey, Lee, I got news for us. That's going to be a hell of a challenge for us at the end of the year. And I hope we play cleanly, because if we don't play cleanly, they're going to take advantage of it.
I mean, they're pretty strong-willed, man. Like you're going to have to beat them. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they ain't going to make it easy, but that was pretty damn impressive, man. Coming back, I don't know what got into Auburn. Like you get rid of Hugh Freeze, then all of a sudden, like, they put up like 500 yards of offense.
I was thinking about Mark and the Lumbus so much over the weekend. Oh, my gosh. Mark and the Lumbus.
I mean, somehow, that receiver, they got that Cam Coleman kid. You see those catches he made?
Like, how in the world? How did they have him under wraps all year?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze is the only coach that can make that guy invisible for 2 years.
He is the Dean Smith of college football, because Dean Smith's the only guy that ever shut down Michael Jordan. Because this Cam Coleman guy is unreal, unreal.
How strange is that, guys? This one game shelf life.
Yep.
Of teams going out with an interim coach.
Yep. Because it sure as hell didn't work for Billy Gonzalez on Saturday night, guys.
They quit, man. Dude, it was arm tackling on defense, like just didn't even care about being out there.
If we lose to them, Lee, we will have zero credibility as a football program for 2025. I mean, zero. That's my position statement. Zero credibility. You cannot lose that game now. I'm sorry.
I don't think you can either. I'm like Bino. Like I'll believe that they don't show up for us when I see it, but I don't see how they even care, man. Like you know those players are looking forward to next year, where they're going to play. Like, they've got to be thinking about all that kind of stuff. Like, where am I going to be?
Yep.
I don't. Why would they care about that game at this point?
Everybody on all these rosters is susceptible to that, Lee, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Exactly.
So.
All their coaches, all their players.
Yep.
I can't imagine they even care about that game at all.
But y'all hit it, man. Y'all were 3-0 over the weekend without me there. I think Heflin needs to just get in here and be a good luck charm for everybody.
I don't. Well, you wanted to do 4, so they took my NFL pick, and I was like, "Sure, guys, y'all are gonna go 3-0, and then all the pressure's on me." And of course, it loses on Sunday.
And what was the pick? The Skins.
It was Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
It was the one play. Yeah, it was the one play I didn't. The whole handicap was, well, their whole offensive line is pretty much going to be out, and literally an hour after we recorded the podcast, like, their injury report gets made known. Oh, all their offensive linemen are going to be available for Sunday. That's great.
Lee, love you. I'm up against it, my man. Speaking of plays, William Patterson, who's known to play the ponies, he was on there, by the way. He was a part of that esteemed panel. He's up next here on Fan Run Radio, and we stay here and kick it around and do what we do.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, T to the B on your TLD Logistics.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
And here we are, ladies and germs, T to the B on your TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Presented by our friends at TLD Logistics. And yeah, the winners and losers. Guys had an undefeated week at 3-0, and then they went for dose there at the end. But, you always got to go for dose. Presented by our friends.
Got to make one more pick.
Well, you got to take one more call, Bri.
So, Billy Gonzalez says that Eugene Wilson will have ankle surgery and is out for the rest of the season. Some Florida news. So, no...
Their top 2
looks
receivers.
like Florida's not going to have any wide receivers.
Oh, my gosh, Bino. Ratchet up the pressure on Heupel, why don't you? Who's the freshman that's missing, Bri? Who's the other one?
Dallas Wilson, I think. Are there 2 Wilsons down there?
Yep. You know what they're going to do, Bino? They're going to put Flip
Single
Wilson.
wing.
Flip Wilson's going to go for 200 on us. No Eugene Wilson, no Dallas Wilson.
Oh, God.
Somebody check on Flip Wilson.
Flip will be running wide open in the middle.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, our fan base is going to freak out. Brian, do we have a start time, Brian? And what did he say about his quarterback? Who's the starting quarterback there?
Didn't see that. Okay. And no, there's no start time yet that I've seen.
Are they going to flex the game, I wonder? Are they going to
I don't know, but I
just
can
wait till next week?
This whole thing about waiting for a damn start time is really kind of just getting old. The NFL can determine all their start times, so they have to depend on TV too.
Ronnie's had enough.
I've had enough. We've all had enough. Let's go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. It was just announced. Thank you. Arda Music is producing the show now. It's going to be 3, 7, or 7:30. 3, 7, or 7:30. Thank you. So Florida game flexed.
Well,
Florida game flexed.
That only eliminates one time slot. We know it ain't a nooner.
Lane Kiffin. It's one of my favorite school closings when his nooner's on is regularly scheduled. Florida game flexed 3, 7, or 7:30. Bino, what's your choice? 3, 7, or 7:30?
Oh, shoot. I believe I'd prefer 3.
Yep. Let's get that thing over with. Bri, is the start time announced for Vandy yet? Or is that another is that mystery?
Well, we'll find that out, I guess, next week.
I want a 3 o'clock game. 4D record. Surely they're not going to put that game in prime time, are they? I mean, surely not.
They might. How often does Vandy get to play for a playoff spot?
No, I'm not talking about the Florida game. The Vandy game's going to be a nice game.
Yeah.
There's zero doubt. They might bring game day here for that. You know? Somebody's asked me if I'm playing Candy Crush. No, that's a noise Brian's making. That's Brian's noise, not my noise. So, back to the phones we go. It does sound like you're playing Candy Crush, O'Brien. On our TLD Logistics phone lines, on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tone, can you hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah. I haven't called in a long time, but I listen to you guys pretty often, and just wanted to call in. First of all, I went to the basketball game on Saturday, and pretty good atmosphere in there, even with it being Northern Kentucky. One observation I had, I thought that there's a good possibility, or just an option, we could see Berg move over and play some point guard and let Gillespie play the 2 as well.
I don't know about that. I mean, he was a little loose with the ball. I mean, maybe. Look, he's a veteran player who's played a lot of basketball, so he's had a lot of court time. I think their main concern about this kid is his ability to defend, which I think ultimately is going to decide whether or not he plays. And you're really not going to learn about his defense until we really see him in real games. So I don't think they were thrilled with what they saw out of him against Duke. But again, it's way early, and they certainly weren't thrilled what they saw out of him or anybody defensively in that Ohio State game, which really made Barnes kind of nuts. But this team does have a ton of options and things they do. And you could make a case that you could stick Gillespie at a 2 guard if you could find somebody just to sort of get you up, get you set up, and get in your offense. As our gentleman that talked about the Indiana game talked about before, which is what their point guard's doing for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think I definitely think that could be a really good option for us. He just shoots it so well. It's stink not to have an opportunity for him to play on the wing some. Excuse me. So, yeah, I saw the way Berg sees the floor, it looks like he could help there. Obviously, it does matter on competition. And like you said, I didn't think anyone really played great against Duke, and we took some uncharacteristically shots that Barnes typically doesn't allow. So it certainly didn't look like a Barnes coached Tennessee offense in that game for sure.
Well, the other thing that's real interesting right about these early season games is I'm not sure what kind of sets they're running, if any, early on. It looks like we're all just still trying to get used to each other. And that's sort of the way that these early season games go. I did find it interesting that Barnes the other day, right around halftime, called a timeout to run an inbounds play, almost using that game as sort of a practice, if you will, He had the one use it or lose it timeout before the half, and so he uses it. And they draw up a play, and there's no Gillespie on the floor. I mean, look, in regular season basketball, that's not going to be the case. When it really counts.
Yeah, for sure.
When it counts.
That's the interesting thing with NIL and basketball versus football is you just have so many games where you can kind of get these kids to gel.
Yep.
Versus football, you have so many different players coming in and out, and we talk about not playing clean or the penalties that we're certainly seeing in football. I just don't know that it's going to be a whole lot different moving forward. A lot of these coaches, you look at Ole Miss and Vandy and Oklahoma, all teams vying for playoffs, all really high in the penalty marker era as well, just like Tennessee is. It's just so hard with all the turnover to keep these guys playing clean in football, whereas in basketball you just have so many more games to get them playing the way you want them to play.
Yeah, and look, Steve in Chattanooga called the other day, and a couple people were amening this about how they'd like to see less of these bye games. Look, you need those bye games in that sport. You really do. See, what Tennessee did and what these power programs are doing is you play a couple of practice games against like competition. Ohio State and Duke were Tennessee's two this year. And then when you get into your portion of your schedule, and there are teams that are playing real games right now, I'm not sure this Tennessee team, that would be a very good idea for them. You almost need 4 or 5 warm-up games, which is what they're getting, before you, quad 4 really, before you go out there to Vegas, and you play a so-so Syracuse team that I think's like 77 right now, somewhere in that neighborhood.
They play Rutgers, not Syracuse. Rutgers and Houston.
Sorry. Yeah, Rutgers is either 77 or 177. They're not very good, whatever it is. And then obviously Houston's a different kettle of fish. But I think the schedule's laid out fine from my perspective. What I think's curious, though, is why you would play that game on a Saturday afternoon in a football culture during football season. But to your point, as somebody that was there, there's still a good 14,000, 15,000 people there, which is an amazing compliment. And I was looking at our numbers today. We got very good numbers on that post-game show, which is, I'm going to say this, kind of surprising, really, at the time of the year it is.
Yeah, you think some of it might have been the fact that we're essentially out of the playoff hunt and people maybe turn some attention toward basketball?
I don't know. I mean, that's I guess in the eye of the beholder. It's always felt to me, even when we've become great in basketball, like it doesn't feel like basketball season here until we start playing those real games. And I think Knoxville's a place that's sort of like that. That's why we saw I think a big, huge crowd for that Duke game. We love our stars here. We love marquee things here. But I was surprised. Were you? Were you surprised at how big the Northern Kentucky crowd was, buried in the middle of a football afternoon?
I mean, I definitely thought that it would be pretty sparse in there.
Yeah.
I got given the ticket and just on a Saturday afternoon, and we decided to go as a family there. And
sure.
So yeah, I was a bit surprised. There's just so many things that are competing for your time on Saturdays anyway. So
that's right.
To go up there and watch North Kentucky's, not on everyone's list of priorities.
And you know what? At the end of the day, to me, right, and it's what you always got to put this in perspective. You get 14,000 people in any gym. In most gyms in America, that's close to a sellout, or is a sellout. In a lot of SEC gyms, that's close to a sellout or a sellout. I just think that's pretty remarkable, and speaks to the depth of the fan base. And again, we do the Garza Law post-game show after these Quad 4 games early in the year to brag that we do them after games, after the season's over. To brag that we've done one after, I'm just being real with you here, and having the credibility of being able to do one after every game. Now, it's not going to be me sitting in this host chair all the time because there's one of me to go around. I don't feel like burning myself out. But that said, when Alex does it, when Brian does it, when several people that we've had do them down through the years, folks respond to them. Thousands and thousands of people are listening. Obviously, there's a ton of interest in it. But me personally, I just have this old school thing, Bino, where it doesn't feel like basketball season to me. And for a lot of our crowd, I still think, Bino, till after that last bowl game's played, or till after Tennessee's played their last football game. What do you think, Bino, of my notion? Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right, Tony, and I think a large portion of our fan base grew up in a time where basketball basically didn't start until Thanksgiving or later. So they, as early as it starts now, there are a lot of people that are probably unplugged. But I'm not at all surprised that on a day that Tennessee had an open date in football, that the Tennessee fans showed up in pretty big numbers.
Yeah, and I think if the weather would have permitted, they would have had a huge crowd out there at the Smoky Stadium if they would have done that. But the weather was a mess. The whole thing was just kind of a mess, so they punted on it.
Yeah, one last comment for me, and it'll go back to football here on Diego Pavia.
Yep.
I'm with Bino. Not easy to dislike the guy just because of how he carries himself, but also you got to like, if he was on your team, you'd certainly like that confidence. I was with probably a large majority of Tennessee fans that, he didn't seem to be playing that well. They were winning, but in large part they were winning because of who they played and the quarterbacks that the teams didn't have. But the last two games, he has really played unbelievable, put the team on his back. And while they didn't win that Texas game, they certainly scared them there at the end. And, of course, this past weekend where Auburn hadn't allowed the team to score over 24 points and they go for 38, we'll definitely have our hands full for sure in that game. And it should be an electric atmosphere there. So hopefully we can, as you say, play clean and find some ways to get them to turn the ball over and get ourselves another victory there.
Here's the truth.
I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, good talking to you. The truth about Diego Pavia is, if you're Tennessee and you do this meandering around sloppy football nonsense, they'll beat you. And they'll beat you by a couple scores, actually. They'll beat you going away. You go on the road at Florida and you play slop ball at Florida, they'll beat you. And they've quit playing. So, these football coaches, and Heupel's one of them, talk about controlling the controllables. I would like to see us do that down the stretch here. Beginning of Saturday. I'd like to see a clean game Saturday. Control the controllables. Conversation I'm going to have tomorrow with Matt and John Adams is this a suitable time? You don't have to say it publicly, you just do it. To start getting George McIntyre uploaded. If you believe that he could have a future with you. Now, if you don't believe it, don't worry about it. It's all contingent on what you believe. Thrody wrote it today, and he's right. The Merklinger guy has as much chance of seeing action next year at Tennessee as I do. I've been out of eligibility for a while. The backstory on Merklinger is he wasn't very good in the spring, despite what people said. They went to him at the end of spring ball. He was surprised by it. They offered him more money. He was like, thanks. He didn't know yet what they knew, which was Nico's leaving. Tennessee knew that before it happened. That's why they went to that kid and offered him more money. Then after Nico happened, his camp went back to Tennessee and said, we want more money. And guess what they did? They paid him more money. Why? Because they had no choice. Then they go out in the offseason and they land Joey Aguilar, who's put some wheels on this season. Really has. He's played well. But in recent weeks, in those big games, he has not played to a level where you would say, well, you deserve 100% of the snaps. Now, I'm not saying you're going to change quarterbacks. But I'm saying you could easily introduce George McIntyre this weekend after a half and let him play. And then, and I'm not trying to be funny here, then in the Vanderbilt game, play the kid a series or two. Not going to hurt anything. Not going to hurt anything. And then in the bowl game, play him a series or two. It's not going to hurt anything. Get the guy some seat time against some real teams. Just see what he looks like. Bino, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, Tony. You would be justified in doing that. I don't think Tennessee does it. I could be wrong. I think that he'll play significant snaps on Saturday, and that'll be pretty much all we'll see of McIntyre this season. But you would be justified in doing that if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, because Aguilar's been good, Bino not great. And if you want to nitpick at him, I mean, you know, the throw against Alabama you can't make. And then obviously against Oklahoma, he didn't have his best day. And I'm not saying turn the page on him. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying as a staff, you have to sort of look at this thing and go, next year it's either going to be GMAC or Faison Brandon. We cannot get a look at Brandon. We can get a look at George. You know, a wise American poet, Tommy Kiefer, in front of Cinderella once said, you don't know what you got till it's gone. At the quarterback position, you don't know what you got till you throw them under fire. In a real game. Nico Amasuna gonna leave you, we thought was an absolute world beater until he played in a real game. Now, it might be that the staff decides, you know, McIntyre is still so slender, slight, however you want to put it. And I haven't seen him on a scale. But it might be that they've just decided, hey, we're just going to have to go in the next season and gamble with these two guys, and one of them's going to win the job. I would say based on Josh Heupel's track record in the portal, they will not go get a veteran quarterback. I'm just going to assume they will not do that. You guys agree with that? Is that a fair take?
No, I think that's a fair take, Tony. I think he is one that's going to rely more on high school recruiting than on the portal.
Well, it depends on how McIntyre looks in these games. If they play him more, that might determine whether they need to do that or not. They will if they think they had to go do that.
And my point, Bri, is I don't know that they use him in these games because that's been the nature of Josh Heupel since he's been here. Will Grum develop him? And now Saturday there will be no excuse not to play him, and there will be no excuse for him not to be the next guy in. The other thing that's an interesting observation I'll make here, by the way, Bride, the Vanderbilt game is listed as an afternoon game on UT's website. So, and I did think that I remembered that from back in the day. Also, we need to pull the schedule out for next week. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow and kind of guesstimate where the Vols are going to be. Because yeah, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead,
I'll give you a quick preview, Tony. They're going to get a more prime spot next week than we thought because there's only 4 SEC matchups next week. I forgot that it's lined up on crap week.
It's the penultimate week, and it's $1 billion enterprise, and people are paying more now than forever. And I tweeted at ESPN the other night, and I haven't said it on the show today because why? It's what the Twitter's for. But this new ESPN app that they're charging me $40 for now sucks ass. No offense to them. And I realize we have technical things that go haywire in here a lot, and who are you to say that? Well, I don't have a multi-billion-dollar budget like they do. And I ain't paying Screaming A. Smith $35 million for his 200,000 viewers in the middle of the afternoon either. So, suck it. And suck it up, Buttercup. And be better. Hey, ESPN, be better. Over the weekend, my app shut off no less than 7 times. And why was my ESPN app on as much as it was? Because they have an impasse with YouTube TV. And ESPN makes Google look like they're wearing the white hat in this. How's that possible? Google is from the pit of hell and they smell like smoke. Yet if I'm given the choice between them or ESPN, I'm going to side with Google over ESPN. That app the other day sucked. Sucked out loud. I'm watching that Vanderbilt game on that app, and there's a key play late in the game, and I have no damn idea what happened because I'm sitting there staring at my app, and the next thing I'm doing, I'm looking at the blank screen. And I look at Laura, and I said, "Did you hit it?" And she said, "No, Tony. It's been happening all afternoon." No, I didn't, because that's the first thing you think, Bino, when you're watching a game these days and your screen comes up, you're like, "Oh, I must have just leaned on my remote, or the dog stepped on it, or whatever it is." I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, let's go back to the phones. Get our next call in. Am I the only one that experienced that? Are you guys all using the new ESPN app?
No.
No, you're not?
No, I don't need to right now, fortunately.
How about you, Beanstar?
Well, I've got the ESPN app, Tony, but I really just kind of check scores on it more than anything else. I do watch some ESPN Plus games on there, short term, but it wasn't anything that I experienced on Saturday because I wasn't on there trying to do what you were doing.
I've got it just to check scores, but I haven't had to watch anything on there except Plus games.
Back to the phones we go. If you want to hunt and in the mix with us, and in the mix and in the hunt from us, ladies and germs, Texas athlete Legend Bay moments ago has switched his commitment from Tennessee to Ohio State. Class of 2026 athlete, highly ranked, took an official visit to Ohio State a little more than a week ago. He was committed to Tennessee for more than 4 months. And Legend
Ohio
Bay...
State's never going to lose again, Tony. Come on.
That's a tough one. 5'10", 175 on my all-name team, 4-star player. The Vols wrangled him away from A&M originally. He's a guy that Tennessee sort of identified, and then his stock rose. He was originally involved with the likes of the Vols and A&M and Duke and Oklahoma State and West Virginia. So Tennessee now has 23 commitments for the 2026 class. 3 projected wide receivers in the class, including Tristan Keys, who did a smart move and stayed away from LSU. Now, when LSU hires their new coach, they're going to go back and re-recruit a guy like Tristan Keys. That's the nature of this stuff, man. That's the nature of it. Legend Bay, Bino, a legend in his own mind, right?
Damned old Yankee Bama.
Yep. Give me a little Mark in the Lumbus here, Bri.
Ohio State's going to win every game from now to the end of time, Tony. Come on. They're never going to lose again. There's no chance.
Hey, Alan.
Because your program's dead.
Bino, do you think Negadave will like the Negadave discount when he hears the commercial tomorrow? Because here's how it works over at WeShipFloors.com. They're having a 40% off sale between now and through Black Friday. Sorry, Alan, I said Good Friday. That would be a hell of a sale. If you mention the Basilio show, you get an extra 5% off, which is 45% and free shipping anywhere in the world. Now, that's pretty insane for a product that you cannot destroy. As we heard a guy from Jonesboro on here a couple weeks ago saying, when he heard they were on here with us, he was like, "That's an insane," and it's made in Johnson City. And Alan is, I mean, he's a trip. He's great at what he does. Great at it. But the Negative discount, Bino, is, so you get 45% off if you do the promo code Tony. But if you do the promo code Negative, you get 35% off, Bino. It's 10% less. Do you think Negative will like that when he hears that in that commercial tomorrow? Because people think I'm kidding, but there's going to be a Negative discount, Bino, and you get 10% less.
I think Negative will take that in stride, and I think he'll probably use that promo code.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Negative!
And then some customer service agent better hope he doesn't get her phone number or his phone number.
Negative.
Timothy McGee must want to go like 8-4 in perpetuity. He says you recruit the players that want to be here and screw everyone else. Hey, Timothy, that sounds great, man. You do that, and you'll have a bunch of 3-star guys from in your state that want to play for your states. And I love that sentiment. But you're going to win in football. You better have some turds, and you better keep the wheels on them, and you better keep them interested. Am I lying, Beanstar?
No.
Okay.
No, you got to continually recruit and recruit your own and recruit somebody else's.
You got it. I love the sentiment of when somebody else goes somewhere else, because when you flip somebody, you love them. You just got to get in there and do the week, as they say in the Bahamas. Go ahead, Bri.
The Vols dropped to number 20 in the AP Top 25 basketball poll after a 2-0 week.
Brian, if you literally ever break in here to give me a basketball poll thing again, I will personally literally come through your device and throat punch you. And I love you, Brian. I'll do anything for you, including throat punch you.
We'll speak nothing of it.
Thank you. Does Boo Carter Bino play this Saturday in the Crip game? Yes or no? And are you playing Boo Carter Bino with the interest level he showed against Kentucky?
No, I would have been through playing Boo Carter several games ago.
I would have been through playing him when I found out in July that he went AWOL from the football
Yeah,
team.
if I had a redo, I would as well.
And I hope that our head coach comes to the same conclusion. There are 2 lessons our head coach needs to learn. If you're a star player on my football team, especially my quarterback, and I've committed to you and you come to me in December, or I find out in December, quarterback now, not any of these others, wide receiver, flirting around, running back, whatever, linebacker, whatever. But if you're my quarterback and I invest in you and I pick you from the bunch, Michael Jackson, what song is that, Bino? Someone picked you from the bunch when love was all it took.
I might break in with another basketball poll update if you
interesting
would like.
Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show. I want you back.
I can't.
Which Louis plays an incredible lead guitar riff in the middle of that. That's so iconic.
That was the very first Jackson 5 song I remember.
Oh, God, what a great song. Ooh, baby. Michael Jackson could really sing, boy. And then he started playing around with whatever he was playing around with that screwed his voice all up. Boo Carter, letting him stay was a move of weakness and not smart. Although, You got to keep the wheels on guys that have turd behavior. It's true. You got to keep the wheels on guys, but you got to pick your spots because Nico wasn't worth playing with either. Nico and his camp showed turd behavior to you. And the lesson here is you got to flush your turds, man. Because if you don't, you're going to have a mess. Fair thing to say, Bino, or am I being hindsight 2020 here?
No, that's a fair thing to say. A crude way to say it, fair thing to say.
The Love You Save, I Want You Back. I think the song's called I Want You Back.
I Want You Back.
Yeah. Yeah, and Negative. Yeah, go ahead.
Stop the Love You Save is a different song.
Da, 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 da. They were so fun. What's your favorite Michael Jackson vocal performance, Bino? Best vocal
I Want to Be Where You Are.
Ooh. Oh. Lady of My Life, a song that Rod Temperton wrote, is my favorite Michael Jackson song ever. The other incredible vocal performance by him was the She's Out of My Life off the Off the Wall record. Those are my two.
Off the Wall's his most underrated album.
Insane. And Bino, if you ever want to hear a great vocal performance from start to finish, listen to Daryl Hall sing Every Time You Go Away. It's a buried deep cut.
Okay.
On the 1980 Voices album. And it's a song that Paul Young cut like 5 years later and had a #1 song with. Every Time You Go Away, Take a Piece of Me with You.
That's a good song.
Okay. Listen to Daryl Hall's version of that. They have a church organ.
Okay.
They have a church organ playing under it. And G. Smith's guitar. And literally, when I hear the vocal performance 45 years later, I get chills at what he's doing at the end of that. And to have that kind of ability is just crazy. Crazy stuff. The thing on Heupel, somebody says here, is he's a young coach, and I hope he learned his lesson. Yeah. I think that's right. I don't think you beat on a guy after the fact, and say this is a reason to get rid of him. I think you say, boy, I just hope. Because here's the other thing about Heupel. He's in an era where you never had to deal with that. Heupel came up in an era in college sports where when you found out a guy was talking to another school, you went to his parents and you threatened him. And you said, if you keep it up, you're going to have to sit out a year. That's the era they all grew up in. And somehow we've woken up in the reality that the players hold all the key cards and the keys now. And you don't hold any of them. You don't have any cards and any keys. And every time I say key, I always think of Roger asked me what the key was. Because I'm not sure Roger knew what he was asking, but he heard people ask that. And it was pretty next level, Bino, wasn't it, when he would ask us what the key was?
Yes, absolutely.
Love me some Raj. 865-200-5402 is the numero dos. If you want to mix hunt mix with us, all lines are jammed. All right, let's go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. My Eagles and Packers are on Monday Night Football night, and I got to ask Bino what's going to happen. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
Tony, I'm proud to say I flush my turds every time.
There you go. It's something that I would encourage all of us to do.
Yes, absolutely. And use wet wipes, but that's beside the point. Tony, last week you talked about just kind of what the environment and what the fans need to adjust their thinking as far as expectations. And, I get it, but I don't think the fans should have to adjust their thinking. Reason being, the common fan has been priced out of this in perpetuity. Nobody's holding a gun
to these coaches' heads to accept $9 million or what have you. And the ADs, I mean, the fans are just playing in the environment that was created. And and then with the players being paid now, the fans are the ones that's getting the screw job where everybody else is doing well. So until that changes, I don't think the fans should have to change their expectations.
Oh, no, I think that's an accurate statement. I thought the fans were getting absolutely hammered and raked over the coals 25 years ago. And compared to those standards today, they're getting absolutely shat upon now.
Yeah.
I mean, basically college football said, hold my beer. I'll really show you something. And the likes of Danny White and these new ADs, and it's gone on here, there, and everywhere. It's not just him.
Oh, yeah.
They can't spend it fast enough either when they get that money. They can't spend it on their own salaries. They can't spend it on, and it's zero bones about it. So if you want to make this whole thing transactional, the minute it goes south on a coach, I was surprised by the number of people that literally jumped on Josh Heupel with both feet after the Oklahoma game. As if they were really expecting this team to go to a playoff. In what world were you expecting this team, with everything that's happened to them, to go to a playoff? That just never computed with me.
Yeah, I think if we go 9-3, and that's highly suspect at this time.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's a hell of a coaching job.
That's an awesome coaching job.
Look what happened to us this year.
Yes.
And so, with the players being paid, they should get a piece of the action. But with them making the money now, that you've got a fan that's working 50 hours a week, not making anything. Meanwhile, a college kid is making $1 million. The days of giving them the benefit of the doubt, those days are gone. I mean, if Boo Carter getting paid what he's being paid, nobody's going to feel sorry for him or any college athlete anymore that's getting paid.
No doubt about it. What's going to be really interesting is your Kentucky Wildcats are in their honeymoon period.
Oh, yeah.
But they're spending so much money on this guy's deal that he better produce. It was fun and cute last year. He better produce, or they're going to be on him like white on rice.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tony, too, you're a man before you're a man of ahead of the times. If you take the pyramid of blame, you could apply that to any situation right now, and it would be a correct diagram of where the blame is.
Yep.
And so I think you should bring that back out and just kind of dust that off and just update the pyramid of blame, because that would be some great radio.
Thank you, my brother. I don't know. I might have to revisit that. Of course, Fulmer, what made it so great was Fulmer was at the top of the pyramid of blame, and then I flipped it around and he became the base, because if he was a cheerleader, they would have used him as the base of the pyramid. Bino, do you like how I just explained it?
Yes.
Bino, what do you make of that simpleton Blake Topmeyer, who joined us on the show Thursday, saying that in his humble opinion, Penn State should get involved with Heupel, and Heupel should get involved with Penn State? What'd you make of that simpleton doing that?
I read the piece, Tony, and at the time that I read the piece, I thought that he was just basically using Penn State as a placeholder in there
Mm-hmm.
because they had an opening. I didn't know if he was implying that there would be any interest there. That's the way that I read it to start with. But, you know, Tony, this day and age, only the elite of the elite at a school like Tennessee that has the expectations and desires of Tennessee, only the elite of the elite are probably going to be double-digit year coaches.
I think that's right.
Heupel's in year 5.
Yep.
Within, you know, so within a couple of years, you're probably talking about a coach of his level. He's a very good coach. I think, not an elite coach, is going to be closing in on shelf life. So I don't think it's crazy to suggest that he kind of looks somewhere to restart his clock. I hope he doesn't, but I don't think it's crazy to suggest he should.
No, I would. If I were him, I'd flirt with a job right now. Now, it'd make people mad, but it would also make your fan base appreciate you. So, anyway. Topmeyer, it's food for thought because the truth is, and I have people don't get nuance, and they think he's trying to push them somewhere, and they don't like Blake and this, that, and the other. He's a pretty smart guy. And his sentiment's right on the money because Bino's right. The one thing that loss showed me the other day and the reaction to it was that a lot of your goodwill goes away when you don't win. And it goes away rather quickly in the modern era. Because all these people are hired to be fired. Every single one of them. That's why Jimmy Sexton introduced into the lexicon the concept of failure money. I ask you, in what walk of life, in any walk of life, do you go in and negotiate your severance on the front end of any package? In any walk of life. Yeah, I like my deal, but what's my severance look like? Excuse me?
Imagine if somebody wanted to work in Jimmy Sexton's agency and they said, well, what can I have on my way out in a few years if you fire me?
Yep.
You think that would have gotten far?
Yep. Vols Deep says 97% of our fans, Bino, love Heupel. Do you believe it? Do you believe that?
I think there's still a high percentage that like Heupel. I think you all talked about the polls that were out there that Russell W. put up there. I would say that it's 75% or better that approve of Heupel. Love's a strong word. I don't know how many love him.
My friends at VIP play tonight. Brian, who's favoring that game? Any idea? I think the Eagles are a 2-point
I think
underdog.
the Green Bay is favored by a
couple
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. Brian, if I forced you to play tonight's game, what are you playing?
I think I'd go with Green Bay at home just because they're at home for no other reason.
Bino, who you got tonight? Green Bay's hard to beat in that building, especially at night.
What's spread, Tony?
2.5.
2.5. Green Bay catching 2.5 at home?
No, Eagles are a 2.5-point dog.
Oh. I think I would play the Eagles, who I think are the better football team. I like home dogs in those primetime games.
Yep.
They seem to step up in that situation, but I'll take the Eagles. I think they're the better team catching points. I like both sides of that.
It's pretty next level, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be interesting, and the great place to place that bet is tonight over at VIP Play. $20 gets you $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code, your phrase that pays, is TN Tony. VIP is live always with 200 leagues. Numerous bet types, props, and options. And everybody gets treated like a VIP, no matter how much or how little you bet, over at VIP Play, where we remind you, if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. The Tennessee game this weekend is 38 points. Bino, if I forced you to place that bet, how you going, Bino?
I mean, Josh's history is to hammer these teams, and especially coming off of a loss. If you made me play the game, I would lay the 38.
I would be wary, though, how much the quarterback situation, if you're going to play McIntyre a lot, then that would sort of concern me with a huge line like that.
That's makes sense.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to figure out how they're going to manage it. That's right.
I think they will let McIntyre play if he plays, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that line would be too big for that, for my taste. I'm not saying New Mexico State would be my play. I just would stay away from it.
You know, why when I'm watching Amachi Brooks said, Tony, we're W7, not W8, you goofball. Per the map. Let me tell her something. W8, though, by the chart. Tennessee's given us a mixed messages here. We're either W7 or W8.
Gave you the Butch Jones chart.
6, 7, 6. By the way, gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. 6, 7, 6, 7. W7 or W8? 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Let's go back to our phones. Jeff McCarter says, if all lines are busy, as Titans Bill would say, shut up and answer them. Hey, Jeff, why don't you shut the hell up? How about that, big boy? How about them apples? You like those apples, Jeff? You like those apples? Let's go back to our phones. Bino, do I like when people clap at me and scream at me like that in my face? Do I like that, Bino? Down through the years.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know if you like it or not, but you don't respond real kindly to it.
Brooke tells me now that it's actually W8. I was actually right about something. 6, 7, 6. She said W7's a help tent. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, gentlemen, it's Rusty.
Hey, Rusty, welcome in.
Hey, buddy. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but you've talked about coaches and these negotiating these buyouts. Have you heard what Signetti's deal is, or his buyout situation?
No.
If the school fires him, they basically owe him 100% of the contract, which is like $89 million. But if he wants to leave and go do his own thing at another job, he only owes them $15 million.
Rusty, are you for or against this era right now? How great is that?
I mean, these schools are so desperate for the right guy, they're bending over, and I don't mean backwards, for some of these guys. You know what? He may be the one guy that's worth it, because I believe he's the best coach in the game, and no offense to Kirby stepped into a Cadillac, and Signetti stepped into a Yugo.
Cignetti's Tony Vitello of college football. That's what he is.
He is.
Yeah.
Except he's a douchebag.
A lot of
he's not quite as charming.
A lot of fan bases would say the same about Tony, though, guys.
Yeah, but Tony's actually a sweet guy who gives kind interviews and was nice and kind to people. Cignetti treats everybody like dog shit. That's who he is. No big deal. Hey, you brought up a minute to two, and I love it now that I've thought about it more, because you could do this. You could do Gillespie, Ament, Cade at 3, JP at 4, and Akpar at 5, and do what Barnes, with that lineup, you can actually function offensively because you got 3 guys, maybe 4, that can actually spread the court, and Cade's a slasher on offense. But with all that size, Barnes could do what he did his last couple years at Texas, which is play a 2-3 zone with, like, everybody 6'11", except Gillespie. Like that Syracuse team that had Carmelo Anthony that won a national championship because they played that 2-3 zone, and it was just length all over the court, and nobody could get a shot off on it.
Yep. And, Rusty, you made a great point in the postgame show about sticking a man at the 4. And
you can do it both ways.
There's a million. This guy is so good, Rusty. So good.
Yep.
And our caller in South Bend referred to him as a unicorn. He's just so special that he's going to give you so many options on the floor as we go forward, as they grow.
Yep. But just imagine we're playing a team that, like Bama, who wants to do nothing but that drive and chuck it, and you went to a 2-3 zone with 4 guys around 6'11" or taller to take away the paint because you got Akpar staying in the middle, and you got everybody else out there guarding the wings, and you can't get shots off. I just feel like you're right. So many options. As far as our fan base, and you never saw it, playoffs, most of us didn't. But we thought there was a chance, and then Joey gave us so much hope when we saw him perform and was functional at a high level. That kind of skewed all our thoughts. And then it turns out, well, our defense regressed back to the worst defense we've had under this defensive coordinator. But initially what changed everybody was like, holy crap, we got a quarterback and a group of receivers that can be pretty daggone good. And it changed our view.
That's fair. You know what?
Yeah.
The Georgia game, now in context, has to be taken in context, right? Now, I know Georgia smoked. Yeah. They smoked somebody over the weekend. Who they beat the hell out of Mississippi State, right, guys? Is that who they got?
Yes.
They finally.
Yeah.
That guy's not going to make it, by the way, Rusty. That Levy guy.
It's a shame because Levy's actually a pretty good football coach. He just can't manage the game late. And then they're kind of where Florida's at right now. Their schedules just beat them down so bad that there's a lot of mailing it in going on. But you're right. The Georgia game skewed us. And if the kick just goes through the upright, we're still in the playoffs right now pretty comfortably.
Yep. Well.
So, yeah, I mean, we're not that far away from a playoff team. We were better than Oklahoma. We outgained them by a ton. We just shot ourselves in the daggone foot. So, hey, it's a bunch of things. But really, my main point was expectations change when you saw 17 and 14 and 6 and 4 out there just being able to throw the ball all over the field in pretty good protection. It gave us more hope than we went into the season with. Anyway.
Thank you, brother. I think that's a really good point that's worth pondering because we almost had that out-of-nowhere success thing that Bino and I have talked about down through the years. I think that's the most fun in sports you can have. That out-of-nowhere success thing is just, it's so good for the soul, man.
If they can win out, you sort of had it this year with a 10-win season, given what you lost and given the circumstances.
Jeff McCarter update. He said, hey, Basilio, it's verbal, not physical. And then he said, I love it. And he actually said, now that I read it properly, and I should have digested it properly, Jeff, he actually said, as Titans Bill would say, shut up and answer. Did you hear Titans Bill tell John Adams to shut up the other day, Bino?
I did. I most certainly did.
Did you find?
I hope John will forgive me that I got a little chuckle out.
We were walking outside through my garage here today, trying to make our way through that maze, and he said, "Why do you think Titans Bill said that to me?" And I said, "Geez, Sean, I don't know." And the whole time I'm thinking, "'Cause you're wordy AF." Back to the phones we go. John Adams.
Would somebody tell me what it's doing snowing sideways outside of my window here on November the 10th?
Is this the earliest snowfall you can remember, Bino?
I'm sure we've had earlier, Tony, but I don't remember many snows in November.
Is it sticking, and do we need
No, it ain't.
Do we need to have a snowbird episode here with the school closings?
No, I don't think we're going to have any closings, Tony. There's not going to be any sticking, but it is snowing at this. There's snow flurries in Loudoun County.
Makes zero sense. I don't have a window here. My daughter was texting me saying it was snowing earlier, and I told her not to gaslight me. So, back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, guys? Josh, your boy.
Wingo. Josh Wingo. What's up?
That Vandy game is going to be a 3:30 or 4:30 p.m. start.
Well, I'll
just
take
so you guys know.
It'll easily be a 3:30 game because there ain't going to be. That will not be a Dave Neal special.
Yeah, because ESPN I'm looking at said either 3:30 or 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Guys, I never judge, or will I never judge anyone, but
yep.
Do we really think the Vols, and I'm not trying to fan, but do we really think Tennessee still has a shot at the playoffs? And if we even get in, I kind of want us to miss the playoffs with this defense because we're probably not going to win a game, to be honest.
If we get in, if I go on the floor tonight, right, and did 2,000 push-ups,
yeah,
I probably wake up tomorrow with arms that look really cut. But I'm not going to get on the floor and make 2,000 push-ups, and the Vols are not getting into the playoffs. They have about as much chance of making the playoffs at this point as your Braves do of winning the World Series in 2026.
Well, I have a better chance of hitting a 20-leg parlay than the Vols making the playoffs.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Hey Bino, do you believe that we're still alive for the playoffs? As some are getting angry with me because I'm talking about how we're not making the playoffs. Do you believe, Bino, we're alive for the playoffs?
I do not, Tony.
I mean, it's been a crazy football season. Probably 1 million things have to happen for the Vols to get there, or maybe 1,000,001. I don't see it.
If we win out, Tony, I think that we'll wind up somewhere between 12 and 15, which is just outside of where you have to be.
Yep.
I think that we could get up there close, but I don't think we'll ever be in the field.
Kind of like South Carolina last year.
Yep. That's a good point. Tony, I saw like a month or two ago where the Twitties were saying on Twitter that we would beat that Indiana team senseless. Kurt Signetti would coach circles around Josh Heupel. What do you guys think?
That's not a fair thing to say. I just think Indiana has a better...
Yeah, it is. Signetti's a way better coach than Heupel.
Well, you don't have to like... Bino, is
I
that
do like him.
Bino, is that
I do
necessary?
Like the Signetti guy.
Is that necessary, Bino, for him to dunk on our guy like that?
No, I think Josh could have said they were just going to beat us.
Signetti would take that clipboard and turn it up Heupel's ass.
Now, Bino, is this what you're getting for staying on extra time to the extra time here?
Yes, I get this on time and off time, Tony.
Tony, on a neutral field, that Indiana team, if they played today, that Indiana team would probably be a 6.5 point favorite.
Against the Vols?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. And I would probably play Indiana to cover because I don't think we would be able to. What's the term here?
Get enough
slow down
their
slow down their offense. That's a game I would not like to see, to be honest with you. Playing Miami, playing a very unmotivated Miami team in Jacksonville. Doug and Jaxie leave the light on. I will be there.
You know, you could see Nebraska, Tennessee in a bowl game. Potentially, too. That's another opponent.
And maybe, Josh, if I really wanted to torment myself, besides from going to a bowl game, I could go down and stay an extra couple days and watch Brian's Jags play after that display they put on yesterday. What'd you think of that, Joshy boy? What'd you think of Brian's Jags giving up a 3-score lead to a backup quarterback?
I thought they had the game won. I thought it was over when Scott Hansen brought in the witching hour.
Yeah, Brian, you got beaten the witching hour, Bri. Bino, are you a red zone watcher? Because that's the only way I consume the NFL is red zone.
Oh, I absolutely am, Tony.
And yesterday was my Super Bowl.
I got to get away from Joshy's Titans somehow that they're cramming down
the throat every Sunday. Yesterday was my Super Bowl,
I agree with
Joshy
that,
boy.
Bino.
Joshy boy, my Super Bowl was the Jets and Browns yesterday. And I listened to the Browns radio network. And that will not be forgotten by this living fan because when they allowed that punt return to go back, Andrew Siciliano, who used to be on Fox Sports, used to be on ESPN, used to do the
Red Zone.
Red Zone, is now the play-by-play voice of the Browns, and he goes, "Oh no!" First, the kickoff return, he's whatever. The kickoff return, that's bad enough. Then when the punt return happened, he's going, "Oh no, oh no."
They allowed a kickoff return for a touchdown yesterday and a punt return for a touchdown yesterday.
It's kind of official that Jimmy Haslam's just kind of not good at sports.
The Cleveland Clowns.
Do you agree, Bino? Jimmy Haslam's just not good at
it. No, he's not good at it.
He makes Jerry Jones look like a good NFL owner.
He does.
Did you guys see how it ended?
No, I fell asleep.
No.
How did it end?
It was like I can't remember. It was 3rd and 4 or 4th and 4, and the Jets ran up the ball. No way in the world they're going for it, and they hard counted, and one of Cleveland's defensive linemen jumped off sides and gave him a touchdown and let him run the clock.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
because I fell asleep like after the.
Yeah, it was 4th, I think.
Oh, wow. That's so next level.
Two bad teams. I put in the blog today. I was watching the other night. I was laying down. I was listening to Nico late at night, and I was watching the Eagles and Buccaneers from 77 on YouTube. I threw a link up to that game today, the Eagles and Buccaneers, in the old Vet Stadium. You talk about two horrendously awful football teams. Both quarterbacks, Bino, would drop back, and both defensive lines would sack the quarterback every time they did. Awful football from 1977. By the way, Negative says Tennessee has a much better roster than Indiana. Josh, do you buy that?
What did Dave say?
Indiana has a much better roster, or Tennessee has a much better roster than Indiana this year.
Regular Dave.
Do what?
I disagree with that. If that's negative saying that, I disagree with that. Indiana has a way better roster.
Bino, do you agree with that Indiana has a better roster? Some of our fans do think that.
I don't know about Indiana's roster compared to ours. I don't know about who they have out there as far as percentage of experience. Indiana's got a much better football team than we got. I don't know about rosters if you look back at who was called what when they came out of high school.
Yeah. Two things out the door, Tony. Our go-to guy throughout this season for basketball, I feel like could either be Gillespie or Amen, depending on the game situations, and possibly even Estrella or a few other guys. But that's my only concern for this team. Who's going to be the go-to guy like we saw with Connect and Chaz the past few seasons? And Tony, how funny do you find it that Mark in Columbus is a so-called Tennessee volunteer fan, but he admits he doesn't even watch the game? Have a great day, guys.
Bino, is that a great place to end it? With Joshy Boy ripping the Lumbo?
I'm glad Joshy started off his phone call with he wasn't going to judge anyone.
Yeah, he proceeded to shove a clipboard up somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Who was that? Who got the clipboard today?
He proceeded to bring Judgment Day on just about everyone. I don't know, cast of thousands.
Brian, Robert Holloway says your Jags got hosed yesterday by a horrendous defensive pass interference call. Do you agree with that, Brian?
Yeah, I think the way the Jazz commit penalties, I think that the officials saw some penalties that weren't actually there because they got called on the penalty. Like on every time their defense did something or made a stop or made a good play, they called a penalty against it. And every time their offense made a play in the fourth quarter, they called some kind of penalty that happened. Just horrendous.
Negative says Tennessee has 47 4-star players and 5 5-star players on their roster. Indiana has 7 4-star players and 0 5-star players. Hey, negative.
I'm sure Oregon had a better roster, too.
Yeah, go do that count for me, negative. You guys that make this thing all about the stars, it's called player development. Repeat after me. Player development. Player development. Bino, Brian, it was a lot of fun. We stayed extra because I snapped at the McCarter fella, who I'm sure if I saw you down at Calhoun's, I would hug you and you'd hug me and we'd love each other, man. And you'd probably look at me and go, man, you look tired. So, on the way out, fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles fly, score a 1 touchdown, 1, 2, 3, hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and then you watch my Eagles fly. Come on, Bino! Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to Come on, Briney! E-A-G-L-E-S, Duval.
Duval. He goes Duval.
Love you, appreciate you. Love your show. Bino, thank you. See you Friday. See you, Briney boy. Special thanks to my friends at TLD Logistics. They're online at tldlogistics.com. Joshy boy, the Eagles are going to give Green Bay Nation tonight the clipboard. The clipboard's coming out. The one team from Pennsylvania couldn't get it done last night on national television. Lamb Weirdo, but one will. Lamb Weirdo, your guys couldn't do it. That weirdo Aaron Rodgers over there. What a damn weirdo. Love you, appreciate you. Love your show. It's pretty incredible. Hope you have a great day. Be blessed. We thank you. I say G to the B to the O. Shout out to my man Don DeVoe. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.